Well, that's how my morning started. It's kind of nice seeing the bigger bucks coming back into the area, starting to chase some of the does. And I expect to see more of that because we're getting into the time of year when the mule deer generally come into the rut because it's actually turning a little colder here. So I expect to see more of that. But what I wanted to do is to share a story, and for me it ends up being my most memorable rendezvous. And there is a story involved with this, and I'll try to tell the story as humorous as it was back in 2005. So it's the name of the rendezvous was Silver Cliff, Wisconsin, 2005. I go into camp, I'm getting set up, and I get approached by a husband and wife team that normally runs all of the archery competitions back then. And they asked me if I wanted to, or at least they alerted me to the fact that there was going to be a Dave himself, that was his camp name himself, Cooper Memorial Shoot. Mr. Cooper had passed away from cancer, so they were going to have a money shoot. Half the money was going to go to the American Cancer Society, and the other half would go to whoever won the shoot. And I wasn't really sure if I was wanting to get involved with that or not. And the reason will become obvious. So anyhow, the announcement went through the camp that the shoot was going to happen momentarily. Now, this particular rendezvous site was all grass, and it was held on somebody's property, and it was grass, and the shooting range was about 100 yards away from the camp, and it was uphill. Not both ways, but uphill. So I had a customer milling around my trade tent, so I wasn't all that excited about going up and doing the shoot, and the customer had walked away, and I thought, oh, what the hell, it's only a couple dollar entry fee. So I grabbed my bow and one arrow, and I hike about 100 yards uphill, barefoot, mind you, because the grass just felt so good on the bare feet. So I hike up to where everybody is now gathered, and my buddy Bill, pictured right here, and his wife Margaret, God rest her soul, she has since passed. So my buddy Bill takes a look at me walking up to the group of shooters, and he says, "Brooks, what the hell are you doing bringing a bow to a rifle shoot?" And if anybody had a camera, you could literally read the embarrassment on my face, because I was embarrassed, because I actually thought it was going to be, a bow shoot, because the people that put it on ran the bow shoots. So anyhow, I says, all right, let me walk back down to my lodge and I'll grab my gun. So I walked 100 yards in the grass, downhill, and I grabbed my rifle. Now, what I was not aware of is the instructions being given, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. So anyhow, I grabbed my flintlock and I hiked 100 yards back up the hill, and by now some of the shooting was already taking place. So it becomes my turn, and I was right about in the middle of it all. So I pick up my flintlock and I start aiming, and it's like, and we're about 25-30 yards. I don't remember exactly what it was, but 25 yards would have been a respectable distance for what was going on. So I pick up my rifle and I'm, excuse me guys, I had to go get my glasses. So I hike all the way back down to my lodge just to get my stinking glasses. I hike all the way back up. Now by this time, I'm actually second to last in the string of shooters, and there was 17 shooters, and I'll verify that in a minute. So I get up there and I shoot. The scorekeeper goes out and measures the distance from the bullseye, calls out what it was, and there was one more shooter, and the guy shot. Now, what the target was, and I have it, was this. Let me see if I can't get back. It's a bear with a fish in its mouth. And you can see the bullseye on the fish. And I hope that you guys can see this. I can't because I'm trying to get everything into the camera, but you can see the bear with the fish. So after the last fellow took the shot, it was measured, and those of us that hit the fish could re-enter and try to outdo the guy that had the best score. And my buddy Bill kind of says in a loud voice, says, "Guys, we just watched him walk up this hill 3 times barefoot, and I'll point it out." And he basically says, and he shot as good as he did out of breath. Can you imagine what he can do when he's got his breathing down pat? So, and that was said after everybody recognized that my shot went right here. And you can see my name, hopefully first place. Second place was Jerry Cranky, and third place was the fella that I told the story about, handing him the swaged balls because he shot competitively. Once again, first place was a flintlock shooter, second place was a flintlock shooter, and the third place was the guy shooting a Hawken rifle with fiber optic sights. But I mean, not to take anything away from them, but only us 3 hit the bullseye. And once again, if you hit the fish, you could pay another $2 and retry. If you hit the bear and miss up here, you were done with it. Okay? So out of 17 shooters, I ended up having the best shot placement, and it was 11/16 of an inch from the bullseye on the fish. And obviously I was given the target. Now, what I missed in all of my traversing back and forth to get my glasses, my gun, put my bow away, was this. Whoever won this shoot would have to provide the target for the following year. That was going to cause a problem. Just simply because I had 2 more rendezvous to go and we were leaving Wisconsin. So I had to quick think, what could I do? So knowing that I had 2 more rendezvous to go, the next one was going to be Mattoon. And at that rendezvous, another friend of mine, Buck Skinner, was a professional photographer. And what I did is I had him take this picture. Okay? Yes, the egg in my mouth. And it was kind of funny because as I'm holding that egg right here, providing the bullseye, I'm trying to look frightened. And as I'm looking more and more frightened, I can feel that egg beginning to crack and crumble in my mouth, although it did not break. So anyhow, my friend Todd took the picture, and that is poster size, and it is pretty much life size. So anyhow, we get to the very last rendezvous, which was the Legends of the Fall rendezvous in Serving, Wisconsin. So Todd comes into camp, nice big cardboard protective cover. We open it up, and there's this picture. My buddy Bill says, "We ain't shooting this." It's like, wait, what? Because that's the original. The original's hanging on my wall in the house. So it's like, well, what do I do? Well, let's go to town and see if we can't get a copy of it. So we go to town, go to like Staples or Kinko's, whatever it was, and can you please duplicate this? And the guy behind the counter says, can't do it. Why? I just need it, I just need it duplicated. Well, this is copyrighted. What? Copyrighted? Yes, sir. It's like, crap, what do we do now? Because now we got the one last rendezvous to do, and I got to come up with a target. Plus, I need time to get it to my buddy Bill, because he said that he would, you know, get the target. We only live like maybe 20 miles away, so that wasn't the issue. So anyhow, it's like, well, what can we do to get you to make a copy of this, because it's a target? And he says, well, you need to go to the photographer and you need to get a written statement for him giving us permission to duplicate this. Wait, what? I got to get a written permission? I don't have time. So we talked a little bit more, and he says, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you can get him on the phone right now while I'm in the store, and he gives us verbal permission with the promise of sending us written permission, we'll photocopy it for you. So that was resolved. Whew. And so anyhow, I got it copied. As you can see, the original still exists. So I go to my last rendezvous, open it up, and my buddy Bill goes, right here, here's Bill. He says, I'll pay just the $2 to put the bullet right between your eyes. Yep. You just gotta love some of these buckskinners, right? So anyhow, to conclude, at the end of that shoot, the prizes are being awarded, and the people that put on the archery shoot told the story, because not everybody saw me hike up and down that hill barefooted just to take this shot. So they actually hand me the target, and lo and behold, there's a friggin' arrow stuck into the hole of where my shot was. And of course, once again, it's my embarrassment. The camp's laughing at my embarrassment. Yeah, I was pretty embarrassed that here I am bringing a bow, one arrow, to a gun shoot. But what was interesting about all of this is once the whole camp saw the target with the one arrow in it, he handed me the winner's purse, and I just graciously says, well, just donate this back to the American Cancer Society on behalf of Lane Beaver Trading Company. Then I took that target, and I pulled out the arrow, and I says, you guys just all laughed at me and my embarrassment, and I'm holding up the target, right? I says, but the last laugh is on all of you, because I says, you all had a perfect opportunity to give me a new camp name, and you all missed it. And my buddy Bill says, damn, he's right. And everybody laughed, because I actually had the last laugh. So this story, this rendezvous, this shoot, and everything that I just expressed is actually my most memorable rendezvous. And I've got a lot of them, but this one here is right at the absolute top of the list. So friends, thanks for indulging me. I certainly appreciate you taking the time to watch this and all the other videos that I've posted on this channel. And, you know, like I normally say, parting, if you enjoyed the video, I hope you give it a thumbs up and share it with your bestest of buds. Thank you. Bye.